Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone. Let's get into these Real Housewives of the Hospital at Married to Medicine, child. Before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And let me give a shout out to my super thanksers. Shout out to Tanya Fuller, Plum, and Yvette Greer. And on my Cash App, thank you so much to Deanne Jackson and to Sean, aka Chucktown Cutie. I love that because, you know, I'm a Chucktown cutie. So thank you. Thank y'all so much. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. I appreciate all y'all. Now let's go ahead and get into this review. So the episode opens up with Anila and Karen at home. She's returned from Vegas and she's catching him up on everything that went down. Well, she's telling him that, yeah, honey, all the ladies wanted you. Yeah, Toya especially. Toya was saying if we could swap, she would swap with me because she wanted to try you out. Karen looked at her like, girl, please get from by me with that bullshit, okay? That girl husband already trying to whoop my ass. I ain't got time. Please, please, please get away from me with this. Karen said, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So that's y'all damn business. I don't give a damn. Don't tell me nothing about that. But our business is your mama getting ready to move in here. And yeah, while you was gone, I went ahead and typed up some rules. We gonna go ahead and call them the 10 Commandments. And I typed them in both English and Hindi. So when your mama get to playing crazy and all of that, don't speak of the damn English. It's another language. I ain't got time for her. So after Karen gets his fill of playing Moses on the Mount, we move on to Toya and Eugene. Toya and Eugene are at home, and Toya's in the kitchen prepping dinner for her children, dressed to go to a concert and looking absolutely miserable. Toya looks like she just ain't got a drop of joy about being in that damn house with them kids and their husband or hers. So apparently one of her sons was at a sleepover recently and has some sort of a run-in with the other kids because he was accused of stealing one of the birthday boy's gifts. Toya, of course, is naturally concerned and offended that her child was accused of stealing. And she decides it's time for them to have a family conversation about it. Well, Eugene is on the patio, it looks like, trying to watch the game. And the kids call him to come in and he is absolutely irritated because damn, can I please get some kind of peace around this bitch? I mean, I work, I pay all the damn bills, I don't have no peace. Your mom around here telling everybody she can't stand me and my package is tiny. What more do y'all want from me? Can I not have a beer and watch the game? What? So they have this whole talk about the son being accused of stealing, about choosing friends wisely and not being in groups where you'd be accused of things that you wouldn't do and yada, yada, yada. Well, after they have that conversation and they've properly addressed that, Toya decides to start in on Eugene. She is annoyed that Eugene doesn't spend enough quality time, especially while she was in Vegas. She said he would work his 12-hour shifts. He would come home and sleep about 10 hours, and then maybe the other 2 hours he would spend with the boys, and they only went out about once. Well, I'm trying to figure out exactly what her expectation is if he's working these 12-hour shifts and was home by himself with the kid. Like, what is he supposed to do? Go work at the hospital for 12 hours, come home, take a shower, go out and be super dad, and let's go to Frankie's Fun Park and Top Golf, and like, I don't get it. In the confessional, Toya is basically saying that Eugene does not spend time with the kids. And if he spends time with the kids, it's done begrudgingly. And Eugene is highly offended. He said that's absolutely not true. Eugene is upset that Toya is making it sound like he doesn't spend time with his kids. Like he basically goes to work, pays the bills, and tells them go to hell. And that is highly offensive to him. Well, Toya said, well, we'll just leave the kids out of it. We'll talk about how you treat me. This is the setup for whatever boyfriend is getting ready to come out the woodworks down the line. Now, I will say that from watching them and listening to them talk to and about each other, I think that both Toya and Eugene take for granted what the other does or brings to the marriage. I think they both trivialize what the other one does. Toya thinks Eugene just goes to work. He's not a whole ER doctor that works 12-hour blocks at a time. And the 12-hour blocks ain't got nothing to do with traffic, getting to and from work, trying to unwind and rest forward. It ain't got nothing to do with it. So I think Toya trivializes what it is for Eugene to go to work, and Eugene trivializes what it takes to run a house and run kids and everything else. Now, from the viewer's perspective, it does look like Eugene might be overexerted and Toya might not be, but that's just what it looks like. Now we move on and we see Dr. Heavenly going to see Dr. Jackie about whether she is in menopause or not. Dr. Jackie delivers the news to Heavenly that while you may be in denial, you are also in menopause. Yes, ma'am. Welcome to the club. She said, now otherwise you are in excellent health. Everything looks good, but you just are coming into a new age. And while Heavenly is in great health physically, she's not so much emotionally because her mom is dying. And she lets Jackie know that they've recently been referred to hospice. And this actually makes a lot of sense. It makes it makes the intensity of Heavenly's outbursts make sense. Because when she was arguing with Contessa while they were in Vegas, Heavenly looked like she might really jump on that ass if she got loose. And it did look more intense. Like, Heavenly is messy. Heavenly has always been messy. Heavenly will talk shit and start shit. But there was something just a little more intense about Heavenly in that particular moment. And this kind of explains a lot. Maybe it doesn't excuse things because Heavenly has been this way for a while, but it does absolutely explain things, for me at least. So we go back to Anila's house where her parents have finally arrived. And the kids are happy to see their grandparents. Anila is happy to see her kids' new parents. And all Kieran sees is squatters. He don't give a damn that they related to his kids. Before they can sit down good, Kieran lays out the rules. Here they go. And all the languages you speak, just in case you don't understand what I'm saying in one language or the other. Here you go. Anila's mama ain't trying to hear none of this. You can take your rules and go straight to hell, sir. This is my house now. So we move on to see Simone and Cecil at home hosting dinner and discussion so that they can get some more information for this book they're writing. They have a couple of the couples coming over and they're going to pick their brains and see if they're willing to tell their business now. So Contessa and Scott and Heavenly and Damon are coming over. Heavenly and Damon get there first, and the first thing Heavenly asks for, I see some good Crown Royal on that counter right there. Go on, put that on a little bit of ice and give me that. Soon as Heavenly got that drink in her hand, she said, yes, I heard y'all wanted relationship advice from the experts. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. See now just drink your crown, Heavenly. Contessa and Scott get there, and Contessa comes in dressed like she going to dinner at the Great Gatsby. What the hell? Like, what does she have on and why? Contessa is an absolutely beautiful woman, but she gives costume a lot. The wigs, the makeup, the outfits, it just gives costume. So dinner is eventually served and everybody is sitting down around the table to get ready to have their dinner and discussion. Well, Heavenly goes to dive right in to tell Daddy about they want us to give them advice and tell them all our business and what we've been through. Cecil say, hold on, little Miss TMZ. Before we get started, everybody here needs to be able to be comfortable and know that they can express themselves without consequence of you. So what we've decided to do is have everybody sign an NDA. Now, I was waiting on him to give them the piece of paper and the pen when Simone said he was just joking. I don't know why, because you do know Heavenly is going to tell all this, right? So Contessa starts the conversation by asking, how did Cecil know when he saw Simone that that was his? Like, what was the defining thing about her that made him just choose her? And Simone starts retelling the story of, he was my neighbor and he had these great legs. And it's the Spelman Morehouse love story where they met and fell in love in college and they're now the beautiful, happy family that they are today. Well, Contessa and Scott go to tell their love story. Scott explains that, their compatibility was based on their financial profiles. That he had a plan to pay off all of his debt within 4 years of graduating med school. And she was in the military, so her debt was going to be paid off. And once they realized that they were both going to be debt-free, they decided they were perfect partners. No damn wonder y'all can't stand each other. Y'all married credit reports. And Scott says in the confessional, if she was broke, I wasn't going to marry her. Yeah. And Contessa's sitting there, he wasn't going to be living in my van. Girl, shut your... Listen, I totally get it. I get the old saying, just like Scott said it in the confessional, that romance without finance is a nuisance. I get that. But the question Contessa needs to be asking is, does this man actually like me? Or does he just like my financial profile? Was I a good match on paper and in theory, but not in reality? Because that's what it's giving. So now as they're talking, Damon starts in with this sermon about how, with men understand boundaries. Men know not to cross certain boundaries because they understand what's on the other side of that boundary. Whereas with women know no bounds. Women gonna push till they get you to the edge. That's just what women gonna do. Now this is true. However, I was with Contessa when she asked Damon, are you talking about Heavenly? Cause that's who does what you're talking about. Is that who you talking about? And he said, no, I'm talking about women in general. Contessa said, oh, okay, well, I must be a man because I don't agree with just crossing all kinds of boundaries and saying anything that comes to your mind either. Contessa said, I would much rather have a wrestling match than for you to attack me with your words and hit all of my vulnerabilities and insecurities. I'd rather fight in the street. And so Damon goes on to say basically that he agrees, and this is why he doesn't really share anything with the group, because he's noticed a pattern that you share things with the group, and then the next time the group gets together, that sensitive thing that you shared becomes a punchline. Contessa said, that's the exact issue we're addressing with your wife. What in the deflecting hell is you talking about, man? Heavenly interjects to say, he talking about y'all. Simone and Contessa say, hell no, he talking about you with your crazy ass. Heavenly goes on to absolutely prove their point when she says, well, don't say stuff you don't want repeated about your husband. Damon is immediately frustrated with his co-counsel who is killing his case. So Damon asks Heavenly not to turn this into an argument. This doesn't have to be an argument. And he asked her several times to not argue with Contessa. Well, Heavenly is steady arguing with Contessa. And Damon scolds her in front of the group. He says, look at how many times I asked you to stop and you didn't. That's a lack of respect. I get that Damon is pretty much embarrassed by Heavenly and her antics, and that Heavenly's persona and her antics are counterproductive to the image that Damon wants to put forth. I totally understand that. However, part of the issue is that they have this daddy-buddy dynamic. They literally have a parent-child dynamic in their adult romantic relationship. Why can you not have a conversation with your wife like an adult rather than scold her like a child. Even when he's not scolding her, when they're just having conversation, he's talking to her like a child. The whole parent-child dynamic with their relationship drives me up a wall. I don't find it cute at all. So Damon, of course, is addressing the issue between Contessa and Heavenly and talks about, the bullshit that's going on between the women just breaks his heart. It just breaks his heart to see Heavenly and Contessa where they're at, going through what they're going through. It's just bullshit, man. Contessa said, no, it's not bullshit. It's real. And no, it's bullshit. First of all, let me tell you what's bullshit. This whole speech is bullshit. When your wife is president of the Razor Tongue Club, when your wife will say anything that comes to her damn mind to people, how dare you have the audacity to want to check anybody but her? So, of course, in response to Damon trying to check the both of them, Contessa said, I ain't trying to hear that. Like, first of all, check your damn wife. Your wife is the problem. And Contessa says in the confessional that, I'm not here for Damon's lectures. Don't lecture me. Lecture your wife. And Contessa goes into how she and Damon have the same credentials. They are in the same line of work. They make the same amount of money. That she is no subordinate to him and he's not going to handle her. And I get it. It has nothing to do with the money she makes. It has nothing to do with their shared credentials. It has nothing to do with them being in the same career field. What it does have to do with is I'm not your wife. Check your wife, who is out of control here at the table and out there on the internet. Check her. Damon gives these Buddha speeches that can be condescending. And I get that he's supposed to be the peaceful, neutral party, but I personally see some bullshit. What I think is because he handles Heavenly like a child, he thinks he can handle everybody like a child. Well, baby, no. That's who you chose to marry. Now, if that's what you got to do to navigate your household, you do that. Now, you can check your wife, but you're going to converse with me. You're not going to check me. And you're not going to talk to me like your word is golden or final, especially when your wife is the one out here starting fights on the playground. No. So now hell done broke loose. Contessa told Damon, you taking your wife's side. Heavenly flips out, but how about you shut the fuck up and let the man talk? Damn. Damon dapped Cecil up. You know what, man? I appreciate you for inviting me. I'm out this bitch because I can't. Damon got up to leave. Heavenly, you talk too goddamn much. Girl, Damon, she just won't stop talking. Contessa said, I talk just enough to let you know that your voice is no more important than mine. That's for you and your damn husband. Heavenly said, I'm not going to do this in front of my husband. Too late. I'm leaving with my husband. You better catch him because he's leaving without you. So as Damon is damn near ready to leave Heavenly, they're in the confessional having the most hypocritical conversation I have ever heard. And Damon is talking about how important forgiveness is, and everybody acts like forgiveness is just impossible and it's so difficult. Heavenly says, well, you can forgive, but you can't forget, especially when people take your heart and snake you in front of everybody. You mean like you did on the internet? So Damon and Heavenly are stomping off to the car and he is scolding her all the way about you don't play with people like this. When I ask you to do something, I need you to do it. Contessa is still inside letting it be known she will not be lectured by her professional peer and somebody else's husband. Shit, I'm already dealing with the husband I got that I don't like. This bitch married me behind my damn credit report. I'm around here trying to get attention from my trainer and you think I'm gonna let her husband tell me about myself? You's a damn lie. Cecil is outside trying to calm Damon down because he is in rare form, asking him to just please cut his wife some slack because I don't know what in the Hulk hell is going on. But you seem to be a little more upset than we are used to. And I just need you to understand that your wife is grown and she's having a disagreement with her other grown friends. And there's a lot of history there. So just cut her a little bit of slack, please, okay? Damon ain't trying to hear none of that shit. Damon said, I hear you and I get that, but my issue is when I ask her to do something, I feel like she should just do it. I ain't that submissive. I ain't there yet. I ain't gonna tell you no word of lie. It's one thing to talk to me. It's one thing to say, that's not a good look. What you're not going to do is chastise me like a child. Entering into a relationship is not about relinquishing my rights. That's not what this is about. I'm not suddenly some inferior individual. I'm not suddenly incapable of making decisions for myself, even if that means I'm about to curse this child. You don't become my ruler because we are in relationship. And since they have this parent-child dynamic with a child, if you do not correct them when they are disrespectful with others, eventually that disrespect turns on you. So you can't coddle her when she is disrespectful and unruly with everybody else and then be upset when the same behavior is unleashed on you. You've enabled this. You've supported her in being and becoming this. Why are you shocked? So Damon gets in the car and he tells Heavenly, I'm sick of this. Every time we get together with your friends, this is what happens. And Heavenly sitting there knowing she ain't taking a bit of accountability. Heavenly said, well, is that my fault? He said, well, you could change your part in it. And Damon said, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and stop talking because I need to cool off. And these mics are hot. And I'm going to probably say some that might have my career in trouble because I'm tired of you. So just leave me alone until we get home. Okay, thank you, bye. So we move on and we see Dr. Jackie hosting a O-shot party. I'm so sick of them. This is apparently some procedure where they take your platelets that they have drawn from you and put them back. This is supposed to give you a good time with your man. So before the party starts, Heavenly calls to let Jackie know she's not going to make it. She's actually really upset about her mom. She had to sign do not resuscitate papers that day. And so she was really, really overwhelmed, and understandably so. Anila comes with her mama as the plus one. Girl. Did you read the invitation? This ain't that kind of party. So Dr. Jackie explains this procedure to everybody, and everybody agrees to get it except Quad because she is a free agent. And she said while she's out here testing the waters, she doesn't need anything clouding her sexual compatibility. So yeah, she's not adding any enhancements. And Anila's mama wouldn't sign her permission slip. That's probably why she brought her mama. She brought her mama to say no because she ain't had the heart to tell them, I'm not about to do this with y'all. I don't know who came up with this, but this is not my cup of tea. So while everybody is rotating out getting their procedure done, Toya decides to catch up on the group gossip. And she said, hey, Contessa girl, I heard you checked Damon. And Heavenly went off. Girl, what happened? She said, yeah, I had to check Damon a little bit. We were having a conversation, and the conversation went left, but the only reason it went left was because of Heavenly. And so Quad dramatically interjects to say, well, do you know why? You know why it probably went left? Because her mother is dying. Right now, as we speak. She may not make it through the week. And of course, that triggers anybody's compassion. Contessa said she's been through the loss of her mom. And she said if Heavenly is feeling anything like I felt at that time, it's the lowest moment of her life. So she decides to lead the group in prayer, which I thought was an absolutely beautiful gesture. And Quad did too. Quad let her know that this is the Contessa. I know the Contessa that would pray for her girlfriend even when she beefing with her. Now go ahead, girl. From our Father to amen. Let's pray for our girl. So the episode comes to an end with them saying their prayers and Anila sticking to her mama's hell no. They said, you gonna really let your mama tell you what to do when you 40 some odd years old And her mama looked at her like, I ain't one of your little friends. I don't give a damn how old you is. You better tell your little friends I said no. And that leads us into next week, where it looks like Anila is going to be trying to work around her mother's constant disapproval. And Toya and Eugene's issues are coming to a head. It looks like Toya is sitting down with some sort of a counselor, talking about how this is not the life she envisioned. And Eugene is pouring his heart out to Damon and confiding that he don't know how much more of this he can take. Child, it's about to be a time. But that's it. That's all. I ain't got no more. Thank you so much for coming down here, listening to me, and letting me get this off my chest. As always, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, I love you and I mean it. Bye.